Tradespotting from La Playa. There you go. Quick view of the beautiful seaside. And now, a quick view of NVIDIA. It's facing resistance, 4-hour time frame, 50 simple, critical, holding that. If not, come down, test 154, 200 period moving average on the 4-hour time frame. It's very possible that happens. There's a harmonic up there. I think it doesn't look too fabulous. Now, if NVIDIA's coming down, what would it be? Such a huge part of SPY. Does that mean SPY's coming down? It'll reach that $6,600 target we spoke about. It's 50 simple, 6470. RSI question marks. Is this going to be divergent? On the daily time frame, you can see it's approaching the top side of the bottom side of the bullish control zone. If it breaks through, then there would be an upward thrust price action moving to the top side, burning off that current divergence, which if price doesn't break to the top side, does start retracing, then you'd be confirming that bearish signal, which would suggest VIX has a little bit of another push to this downward sloping resistance line. Overall volatility has been contracting, but the full story includes these huge wicks. So disastrous moments can happen in the markets. All of this would be negative for LivePerson, which on the itsy bitsy teeny time frames did go for a little push to the top side of around 90 cents, but within this channel, price action has been respecting those fib levels. 50 simple coming in at 86 retracement. That was where we saw a rejection. Fair value gap left behind, now filled. And decision point for LivePerson, does it push from 87? If it does, top side target would be 96. If it can break there, you'd be looking for it to break back above $1 and start confirming some real strength. If that doesn't work out, then it'll be coming down. 4-hour time frame, these previous lows touched twice in around 82, and then fair value gap, which would be 100% closed in at around 76 cents. That does not suggest the end of the uptrend. Still higher lows on these macro time frames. Say macro, it's only the hourly Tradespotting. Anyway, price action still within this range we spoke about. Coming down, test that 82 cents, even possible. Break that 76. Close this gap across here in around 69. Does that look to be happening? That would be slightly more worrying, but still above those higher lows, and perhaps really good value if you were managing entries around that area. I'd be careful any lower. You would look for potential volatility, and that could wipe stop off the table. So short term, we'll be looking at 15-minute time frame, talking about breaking them back above that 50 simple, conquer the 96 level, and then price action would be on, having put in a higher low. And that would be significant. It's very difficult to see that happening in LivePerson if SPY isn't resisting this potential move down by going up, which is unlikely if VIX is going to start pushing higher, and it has managed to reach an important level of resistance. If it breaks through that, we could see a tough week. So, is volatility incoming? There has been changes in the markets. Have you seen Trump's new request that earnings are no longer reported quarterly, but instead every 6 months? Is this actually a good idea to start tinkering with the metronome of the markets? Are we really going to free up those CEOs to do any better job? Or should they just be delegating better, right? Are these companies' leaders really pushing out the spreadsheets every 90 days? I'm not so sure that's the way it works, Mr. Trump. He did put across that old adage about China using a 100-year lens with America and a 90-day stopwatch. But does swapping it to 180s really push us towards that Confucian patience, or is that merely just moving the yardstick a little bit, right? This isn't a sundial that you can just push over to speed up time. The SEC, they would have to agree to these sort of things, so Trump would like to create some influence there that actually changes these administrative things, rather than trying to increase any transparency. He's of course trying to make things easier for the executives and trying to bring more of that business vote on board. The irony is thick enough to pave most of America. Trump's hotels used to adjust their accounting on these 90-day periods just to report any uptick in revenue, and they would even be doing it when there was revelatory debt concerns, which didn't quite make those reporting changes. So I would say that while I'm not a cynic about most things in life, I am slightly suspicious that this is not a real policy. It certainly isn't going to improve your lives. It would be great to see a president in America that actually got effective things done rather than just got everybody so upset. Though I see that everybody really is upset over there. The issue isn't frequency, it's fidelity. Reporting every 6 months isn't going to stop a liar from telling lies. It's not going to help somebody who wants to get the truth out there find more opportunity. It's just people buying fewer tickets to fewer shows. So when Trump insists on lengthening the leash, the dog may indeed have it, but the master will expect his tricks. And if you're a trader, you'll be expecting some volatility. Yes, volatility, Bitcoin, interest in there. Some of the things that I think, so you see a big retracement in COTI. One of the things I think is interesting about these sort of alts is if you go to the weekly time frame, on an awful lot of alts, what you'll see is that you've got it painted there large, and also something like this. Now that could be more accurate. But point being, let's go away. Point being, just look there at historical lows, and a move to the top side now could be a huge multiplier. But Bitcoin is dithering within a formation which could break to the downside. Now, if we take this biggest possible break here, top side, if it is that Bitcoin breaks, perhaps it loses that 50 simple on the weekly. If that was the case, it come all the way down to a 236. That is very scary. Do I think that's going to happen? I think you should check in with Rocky Outcrop because he has some other ideas, and I was blown away talking about it with him earlier today. So, Rocky Outcrop show Wednesdays at market close. In the meantime, looking at LivePerson, they've closed the capital restructuring with regards to those new preference shares. They're going to convert to common stock upon a vote, at which point a significant shift has happened from the enterprise value of the company's moved from the people who were owed that debt to now shareholders, of which you are potentially one. So that's a positive move. Reduces the debt, transfers the value to enterprise value across to shareholders so that everybody's objectives are aligned, and that's a very strong move from LivePerson, though the market doesn't see it that way yet, which leaves opportunities back down again. Broken the 200 period moving average on that 4 hour on the daily time frame. See that the 50 simple did cross back above the 200 and is now coming back towards testing it again. So there was a golden cross which was tested, price action failing to break back above that 200 on the first try, not yet pushed lower than its first initial move down, and so the resolution of this golden cross is not yet set in stone. Should it break to the top side, there would be a clear move, having achieved such a significant milestone, and likewise, if it should fail, potentially we see those deeper targets. So that's a quick take across the LivePerson. Most stocks covered there through their potential similarities what we see in the markets. Hit the like button if you like that beach. Mountains, beach. Brilliant.